Hi, and welcome to Springboard Project. My name is Andy Howard and I'm the head of site here. What I'd like to do in the next few minutes is just give you a guided tour of the project so you can see what we do and how we help and support our young people. Let's start off with who are we? In terms of simple nuts and bolts, we're a 14 to 19 specialist setting and we support young people with social, emotional and mental health needs. We say that we're not a school. Obviously we are. We were initially set up as part of the Newbridge Trust as one of the free schools, but we prefer not to refer to ourselves as a school because for our young people, school has often failed them. So we call ourselves the project. And in fact, we call ourselves the Project Without Boundaries because our aim is to support our young people in their community so that we see them as a whole young person, not just as individuals in a setting. Ultimately, the aim of what we do is twofold. First of all, we want to make sure our young people become the best versions of themselves they possibly can. And secondly, we want to help them go into either high quality further education or training or employment routes. If we can help our young people gain really positive, substantial destinations when they leave us, that for me is our job done. But what do I mean about Project Without Boundaries? Well, at heart, it means meeting the needs of our young people, whoever that is. We are not a traditional school site. We don't have large buildings with lots of rooms. We don't have specialist spaces within this site, and we don't have a big fence around the outside like a school would. Instead, we are set up on a satellite delivery model. Yes, we have our central hub in Matthias Square in the middle of Oldham. This is where a lot of our core classrooms are, and a lot of our young people do spend a lot of their time in our central hub doing their subjects. But alongside that, we then have our community learning pathways. And this is where students go into the community and are taught in very different spaces so that they feel comfortable and safe engaging in education in a setting that doesn't look like a school. All of this means that we look to provide a sense of purpose for our young people. Give them that sense of actually doing something for a reason. And we do that through being very much focused on destinations. Back to what I said earlier about doing the best we can to give our young people those positive destinations, either into education or training or into employment. Within the project, we have 6 golden threads that we follow through everything we do. These 6 golden threads are used to hold us accountable. They're used to give us a sense of direction and purpose and help us make sure that everything we do is all going in the same direction. And you can see there, trauma-informed practice, coaching and mentoring, curriculum development, mental health and well-being, destinations and purpose, and digital integration. Let's look at those in a little bit more detail, and I'm going to break them into 2 batches of 3. The first batch are the 3 golden threads that really focus on the internal: trauma-informed practice, coaching and mentoring, and mental health and well-being. These 3 golden threads are very much about making sure that we're providing the environment where our young people and our staff feel that it's safe to be where they can grow and develop, where it's okay to take risks and make mistakes because we will be there to support them. Trauma-informed practice is working from the basis that our young people live in exceptionally difficult lives and often have trauma live in their lives, and we are the safe space for them. So our trauma-informed practice focus is about making sure our young people know that we are that safe space. Coaching and mentoring is then about making sure that having built that relationship in that safe space, we help them develop and grow to be better and to see how they can get there. And that's for our staff as well. And then mental health and well-being, very much a driving feature through what we do, is that it's actually okay to not be okay. It's okay to say, I don't know. It's okay to say, can you help me? And that's something we do throughout everything. So those are the 3 golden threads that are more internal. And then our 3 external golden threads are our curriculum development thread, making sure that we're always providing the right qualifications to give our young people the best opportunities in life going forward. Very much focused on destinations and purpose, making sure that they see that by working with us and working through these destinations, these curriculum pathways, they can get destinations of choice. And then, like I said, giving them that digital integration so that they can use the technology, both as it stands now and whatever and however it will be in the future. Now, we focus a lot on vocational pathways here at the project because we think giving young people these skills in these areas is a really powerful way for helping them develop. These are the vocational pathways we're currently offering or aiming to offer in the next 12 months. Health and social care, hair and beauty, catering and hospitality, digital and creative, sport and fitness, uniform services. Those are the ones we currently offer. Construction, mechanics, travel, and horticulture are ones we're still currently developing to make sure we get the very best quality we can. And woven through all of those is entrepreneurial skills, so our young people can develop vocational skills and have the skills to go on and be their own boss as soon as they're ready to do that, so that they can take control in their lives. In a little bit more detail, our curriculum offer then, well, I'm giving 4 promises. Every young person at the project will be given the opportunity to achieve a minimum of 4 level 2 qualifications, including maths and English, a vocational qualification linked to their pathway of choice, a level 2 nationally recognised qualification in employability and life skills, and plenty of experience of the workplace, and a careers coach who will support them even after they leave us. So all of our young people get that offered. One of the reasons why we have set the minimum 4 level 2s as our first promise is because currently, locally here in Oldham, 80% of the jobs in the job centre require a minimum of 4 level 2 qualifications. So if we're not offering that as our minimum, we are stopping our young people from accessing those jobs. So that's one of our core promises. And how do we do it? Well, we have regular timetable slots like any school would, and that's probably the only thing that makes us similar to a school. Every young person gets, in Key Stage 4, 5 periods a week of English and maths, and in Key Stage 5, 3 periods a week. 2 periods of PSHE, where we're looking at personal, social, health education. 1 period of tutorial time with a qualified member of staff who is a tutor to help them focus around their targets, their EHCP progressions, etc. 4 periods a week of learning for life and employability skills, partnered with the Prince's Trust to make sure that we're giving them access to the best opportunities and the best experiences and offers available. And then literacy. It's really important that we all really grasp the concept of literacy and reading for pleasure, but just for involvement and engagement. So we have 3 periods a week given for that. And then our vocationals, every afternoon in Key Stage 4 and a minimum of 4 periods a week in Key Stage 5 are dedicated to vocational offers, so our young people have the space and the time to follow those qualifications through. We then deliver this around 4 pillars. So everything we do has got to fill one of these 4 pillars. Our first pillar is our core curriculum. This is very much developed and evolves on the students' needs. It's about our English, it's about our maths, it's about our personal and social education. This is the core stuff that every young person needs to go on and be successful. Then our second pillar is our vocational qualifications. Again, making sure that they get exposure to the qualifications and skills and knowledge that they're going to need in future to be successful. And alongside that, the entrepreneurship very much woven through. Pillar 3, life skills and employability. So our Prince's Trust involvement is there, and careers advice and guidance, so they understand what they need to go on into the world of work and into life going forwards. We, as a setting, are committed to helping our young people even further. We're looking to develop even our own little model flat where young people can actually learn about how to live on their own in a 1-bedroom flat, because so many of our young people, when they get to 19, go into independent living, and we want to make sure that they have the skills for that when they leave. And then pillar 4 is our world of work exposure, and this is our work experience, workplace visits, external visits, role models from a local business. We are really proud of a unique partnership we have with a social enterprise company just around the corner from us here in Oldham by one of our key local business people, Upturn Enterprise. They are working with us to make sure our young people get access to as many opportunities and examples of local businesses so they can aspire to be the best they can be by seeing other adults who've lived perhaps similar lives to them and have gone on to be highly successful. For those young people that perhaps struggle with being on site full time, here in Matthias Square, we have a very sensitive adapted curriculum offer. This can either be in our satellite centres, and as an example, we teach our lessons in the local cricket club, in local sports centre, in library spaces, and even in local coffee shops. Or we could use our alternative provision partners, where we have young people that have passions and careers they want that we cannot provide that specialist offer. We seek out the best quality alternative provision and make sure young people get access to that. Where we need it, we have one-to-one tutoring in place, where our young people will have either a member of staff or one of our partners go out to meet them at an agreed place and undertake that one-to-one tutoring. And we're also entering into a very exciting partnership with an online virtual school who will deliver online live lessons for our young people who need it so that they can gain qualifications, including international GCSEs in maths, English and science. So our adapted curriculum offer is a really crucial part of what we do. Any young person on an adapted curriculum offer has that offer reviewed every 3 weeks, with a significant review every 6 weeks to make sure it's still fit for purpose. And the aspiration is always back to those 4 promises. We also think very much about Maslow before Bloom. Now, these are 2 psychological models for education. Maslow is about our basic internal needs, and Bloom is about our educational development and growth, our academic growth, as it were. Before we can do any significant and serious learning, we have to consider the Maslow's hierarchy of need. Are our basic physiological needs met? Do we feel safe? Do we feel we belong? Do we have respect and self-esteem? Because only when we have those can we actually give the headspace necessary to learn and grow to our full potential academically. The young people need to feel safe and belong before they can learn effectively. And we do that through our relationships. Relationships are first and foremost and central to everything we do. Because by knowing and understanding our young people and their backgrounds, we can make sure that our young people have that potential unlocked to be the best they possibly can. And then finally, although actually most centrally, we are very much a holistic setting. Our safeguarding and our pastoral intervention teams are a truly central part of what we do. If we're going to make sure that we look at the Maslow before the Bloom, if we look at the physiological and the safety and the belonging needs of our young people, then that falls very heavily on our safeguarding and our pastoral teams. We always work to break down preconceived ideas, the preconceived ideas of our young people, but also the preconceived ideas the community have of our young people. So like I say, we make sure that our young people get that careers advice and guidance in our unique partnership with Upturn Enterprise, so that our young people are seeing local businessmen and women, are being understood by local businessmen and women. And the potential that our young people have can then be realised through those relationships. But it's not just that. We're also in the middle of forging some really strong links with Manchester Met University to make sure our young people can also aspire to university, so that they can gain those qualifications they need to go on and become the very best they can. But it's even more than that. We also make sure our young people have access to these social enterprise packages. So our young people get the offer of engaging in Duke of Edinburgh Award, so they can develop those skills and gain that qualification. And then alongside that, we are very passionate about the fact that our young people are themselves potentially very strong advocates for their local community. And so community service, or as we prefer to call it, social entrepreneurship, where our young people engage every Friday in activities to enhance the local community in some way, shape or form. That could be working with partners in painting a social housing in our place, or doing some gardening in an old people's home, or supporting younger children in an early years or a primary or early secondary setting. So our young people themselves start to build that self-esteem by seeing that they can actually have a powerful impact for good in the local community. And that is Springboard Project. But it's not just that. We very much recognise that our young people are parts of wider communities. We've recognised very much that in the current climate and the cost of living crisis, our families around our young people are also sometimes struggling. And so we already have something that we call Project Pantry, which is our own little food bank. Any member of our community can come to us confidentially and say they need help, and we can provide it. It can be a bag of food, a bag of extra supplies for the house. And for our young people who are potentially going on into independent living, our aim is to make sure that they leave us with everything they need to set up a comfortable and safe and secure home. So that could mean that we give them bedding or towels or crockery and cutlery for their new home. So that is what Project Pantry is designed around, so that we are not just a school giving our young people education and then waving them goodbye, but that we are genuinely and truthfully there to build relationships and support our young people and their families to make sure they are safe and become the very best versions of themselves they possibly can be. I hope that's given you a feel for what the Springboard project is. If you have any further questions, please do get in touch with us. We can arrange a tour, we can arrange a talk, you can come and see what we do, we can come and talk to you if you want. But Springboard project passionately believes in helping and developing our young people into the very best they possibly can. Thank you.